an ugly noise. That was an ugly noise that I just made, and I apologize for my ugly noise. Welcome into Pillow Talk. Pugs and Parker. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. Here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform, we do this little presentation every Monday through Thursday evening, 9 o'clock. What is it? Well, as I described it today, it's two guys intentionally irritating each other for an hour each night. That's it. That's how you would describe it. How much you describe the show? Two guys intentionally irritating one another. Oh boy, but here he comes. Here he comes. We're going to the pen. Let's go. We need the big left-hander. We need the big out of Tyler, Texas. 6'10" and a half. Throwing from the south side. It means you're a lefty. It means you're a southpaw. James Parker.
Thank you. Good to be here. 6'10"?
What's that?
6'10"'s a little tall.
Yeah, whatever. You know,
Yeah, whatever.
You're 7'2" on the mound. That's a big pitcher. That's a weird angle that ball's coming in at. And I imagine if you're 6'10", you've probably got some good whip going. So you're throwing that 6'10" off 7 foot off the mound. I bet you're getting close to 105 miles per hour. Whoa! That's crazy. That is crazy. What's new, James?
Well, hey, look, I want to send you a JPEG. It won't let me just put one up as a share screen for some reason. It'll let me share a video, but not a image. Okay. So
Hey.
I just want to send this to you and get your first thoughts on it without going into a whole lot of setup or anything. I just want to get your first, second, and third reaction to this. Is that fair?
That's fair. That's completely fair. And I would like to point out that I forgot to get a glass. So I'm going to be sipping straight from the bottle like a big old hillbilly that I am.
Oh, sweet. All right. I just emailed it to you, so hopefully it'll be there by now. It doesn't take that long. The old email.
Right. Email. Let's see what you just is it a video? Do I need to show it?
Here, look. First, let me do what I can show you. Can you see my share screen there that just popped up?
Yeah.
I want to show you an incredible trick shot by the mascot of the Denver Nuggets. Are you familiar with Rocky?
Ooh.
This is amazing.
Is he the gorilla?
He looks like
no. That's Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have the gorilla. What do the Denver Nuggets have?
It looks kind of like a lion, but the thing is he is on a gigantic ladder. Do y'all see this? Do you see him at the top of this ladder up here? This is a ladder that looks like it's going twice as high as the backboard. This thing looks like it's 30 feet tall. Okay. And he's at mid.
Can you make it bigger?
I don't think there's a full screen on this crap.
Yeah.
Is there?
All right. Yeah. Well, it's YouTube. Why don't I just show it on YouTube? Why don't I just pull it up and I'll make it big screen?
Look at that. Boom. From half court. Oh, you didn't see it?
Didn't see it. I was trying to fix stuff.
Okay.
What is that? So what did you search on YouTube? Denver Nuggets mascot. Okay, never mind. It's not. Computer's working very slowly today.
All right, just go to the image then. I just wanted to because he is the subject of something I saw being passed around social media, and it had a firestorm of a debate under it that I thoroughly enjoyed that I would just like to carry over here. I just don't want to taint the waters too much, and I want to hear your first reaction to this because it's funny how we act like
I want to see the half-court shot. Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up on YouTube so I can see it. Oh, I see what you're saying about the problem. That it's like it's not like a normal YouTube video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's done it before. There's a bunch of videos of old Rocky making half-court. Oh, stop it with the. All right, I'm just watching him.
So these mascots, man, they do amazing things. A lot of them jump off trampolines and do like the flip and a dunk. And, they're actually really amazing. They're just sort of like this, I don't know, dumbed down American version of Cirque du Soleil almost, to where, yes, it's the athleticism.
That's exactly what it is.
We have to sum it up by making
it's white trash American Cirque du Soleil.
Right. But let's put the guy in a gorilla.
Why do we have such?
I don't know, man. Every time
we've got a terrible connection tonight. Can't hear you.
Well, look, that's not coming from my computer. That's coming from your computer. That's I'm not doing that. Anyway,
Computer doesn't charge here. Every show from this point forward is going to be limited. The show will just end when the battery on the computer runs out. That's it. That's every more marathon shows. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with the battery, with the charger. The charger does not work. And it's not just this charger, it's the other charger. I've used them both. Neither of them work. It's not even charged. This is really bad right now. I'm having a real bad problem. The battery has just dropped in the 4 minutes that we've been on the air. The battery dropped 100%. It's now I don't know. I'm getting angry. I'm watching Rocky.
what's
The
wrong?
mascot. He's making a bunch of long shots. He's bombing.
No, what's your battery on?
Wait, what?
What's your battery on? Like 4%? What's it on now?
No. The battery is currently on. It was a minute ago on 100%. It is now on 92% in 1 minute. So, it's going to drain in 40 minutes and then the show's just going to stop because I do not have a charger cord that works. Are you ready for I have about 10 charger cords that none of them work on any of the Dell computers. I'm not saying that they don't fit and they're not appropriate. Oh no, in a perfect world, they should work. They should charge the battery. These things, you have to jiggle it, you have to pull it out, it is so frustrating. When are we going to focus our intent? When are the scientists going to get together and go, those plug outlets in the wall? There's probably a better way to deliver electricity than that way. That way was invented when? In the 1920s, and they just went, that's it. Let's just be done with that. I'm so tired. Why can't we have wireless charging? Why isn't that a thing that some smart guy can invent?
All right, Tesla, you done?
Yeah. No, because I'm watching the battery drop right before my very eyes. I do a 2-hour show on freaking during the middle of the day, and I can't do a 2-hour show anymore. The battery doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, we heard about that. Now open the meme. I want you to share. Open the thing from your email. At least it's not video and won't clog up the works too much. It's just a still image.
Okay, the meme. All right. Here we go. Let's see here. Is that it? Yep, there you go. Okay. All right, now what are we looking at here? All right. $625,000 yearly salary for the Denver Nuggets mascot. Not true. $231,000 yearly salary for the highest paid NBA player. Yeah, that's probably true. That is probably true. There's no fucking way in hell, dude, that mascot makes $625K a year. Not a thing.
You sure? Because I'm not sure.
100% sure.
Okay.
100% sure that there is not an NBA mascot who makes $625,000 a year. That's absurd. Where did you get this?
Right.
And why is there no? Oh, it's okay. Via Bleacher Report. Okay, so Bleacher Report is saying this. Okay. All right. Anyway, that is funny. That is, I bet you that the top mascot in the NBA, I would assume is the Phoenix Suns gorilla. That's the guy that, you always see everywhere. He's probably the highest paid mascot in the league, and he might make more than the highest paid player in the WNBA. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see where you're going with it, and you're not going to get any pushback from me. People don't care about the WNBA. They just don't care.
Yeah, so there's reports that say this dude does make $625K, and look, I'm telling you that does sound high, but I mean, I didn't do a whole lot more than the Google search and was like, yeah, there's more headlines that confirm this.
No,
So,
I'm certain that people say that, and it's been reported, and he himself may have put that out there. There is no way that mascot makes $625,000 a year. That's just not a thing. He may say it because that's good for his brand. Look how big I am, and it's circulating, and people believe anything that they want to believe. So in this case, there's no way. Jeff Ballard, is he showing up late? You see what Jeff Ballard just asked in the chat room?
Well, look, here's the deal. The average is $60,000 a season, but
Yeah.
most mascots don't do acrobatic tricks or anything like that. The top one is this dude at the Denver Nuggets. Number 2 is Harry the Hawk for the Atlanta Hawks. He's supposedly paid $600,000 a season by the Hawks.
Nah.
And in third place is your Benny the Bull. Benny the Bull of the Chicago Bulls comes in third place at $400,000 a year salary, and that's a huge drop off. Huge drop off.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. He makes book. That's what he does. He runs a book. He runs a book there during games. And Benny the Bull doesn't do anything. He doesn't dunk. Benny the Bull just runs around. He's. So I'm sorry. I'm distracted by this fucking computer. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Phoenix Suns gorilla gets paid $200,000 a year. He does dunk all over the place.
Yeah, he's the most high profile. He's the one that we always see in highlights and stuff.
Love that guy. He's so cool. And it's so funny to see a gorilla. It's like, how did you even get a tank top on him? Hugo the Hornet is next. And now we're all the way down to $100,000 a season with the Charlotte Hornets. So there's a huge drop off there. And so why are so many people reporting the same wrong number? Because they're all coming off of one source, right?
Yeah, everyone else. Yeah. Yeah, somebody put that out there, and then somebody reports that, and then the third person to report that uses the first two as sources to justify them publishing the false report. That's how journalism works. It's completely that's not how sources work, but that is how sources work now.
Yeah, that shouldn't be how sources work. I hear what you're saying.
It's not how I learned how sources worked in journalism school. No, that is not how they work.
Let's go ahead and just so we can talk about something here. Let's assume those numbers are true. And we have this graphic that I'm supposed to get. Am I supposed to be sad for this WNBA player who makes significantly less than a mascot? Not really. But when you look at it, the average mascot makes $60,000 a year. So she makes more than the average mascot. In fact, there's only, if you take these false numbers as true, worst case scenario is there's 3 mascots that make more than she does, because then it drops down to, or no, 4 mascots. Yeah, 4 mascots who make more than her. Is that right? No, 3 mascots make more than her, and 1 makes about the same, and then the rest are below her. So it's kind of cherry picking your stats just to come to a conclusion. But I don't even want to give in like a millimeter on this. You know what? Even if it's true, she's lucky it's that close. The mascot, whoever's under that big dumb costume head, is probably better than every WNBA player right now and would be a starter on any of those franchises.
Absolutely not true.
Did you see him make that half court shot?
Yeah, it's a trick shot. Let's see him do that with a full court press. Let's see him do that while also trying to wrangle around a bunch of 7-foot women who are really good at defense. Let's see that.
He's on a 30-foot ladder. Come on.
With no defense. Come on, man. That's like saying the Harlem Globetrotters could beat any NBA team. No, they wouldn't.
Okay.
They'd set record turnovers in a game if they played a real NBA team.
I would also like to submit that Rocky the mascot probably entertains more people in one night at a Denver Nuggets game than this woman does in an entire season's worth of fans
100%.
at an NBA game.
100%.
I would also like to submit that Rocky the mascot has gotten more TV time possibly than this lady has in her entire WNBA career.
James, let me put this to you right here. I am familiar. I have seen. I know that the Denver Nuggets mascot exists. Never heard of that girl before. She's the highest paid player in the WNBA. Never heard of her. First time.
That was my finale. Anybody without Googling it, what's her name? What is the biggest star in the WNBA? What is her name? What's her first name? What team does she play for? Name 2 teams.
The Sky.
You can, but nobody else can.
No,
99% of Americans can do it.
Let me try and name 2 NBA teams.
Name 4.
The Sky. What?
Name 4 WNBA teams.
I don't think I can name 2. The Sky. I know the Chicago Sky. That's it. I'm trying to think of another team. I don't know the name of the LA team. I don't know the name. I do not know. Look, WNBA to me is I've never watched a game, so honestly, I probably shouldn't comment on this. Should it exist? Yes, absolutely. If women want to play basketball and people want to watch them, yeah, it should exist. Should it be forced fed into 20,000 seat arenas so that every time you see this product, it looks like there's only 10 people in the crowd? No, that's terrible. WNBA games should be played in high school gymnasiums. They should fill and pack a rockin' field house. That's what they need to do. Sparks. There you go, Jeff, the LA Sparks. That's it. You know what I mean? They tried to force us into accepting WNBA basketball as another major sports. And all of these team owners, NBA team owners, were basically strong-armed into funding a WNBA team. They lose money every year.
Oh,
And
yeah.
look, a lot of
God
people,
bless them. God bless, look, I'm
right.
glad girls have, some sort of athletic avenue that they can pursue on the professional level, and little girls have something they can look up to that's also a girl and all that. But you remember in the TV show Friday Night Lights where Jason Street, he got paralyzed, and then after he recovered, he wanted to get back into competition, so he played in that basketball league with a bunch of wheelchair people.
Mhm.
That's what the WNBA is. That's how I feel about it. Like, good for them.
No,
I'm
they're
glad
terrific.
I'm glad they have something to do with other people on their level, and but it's not like the real thing. This is something we have set aside for this group of people so they have an avenue to compete. They have an arena to compete. And because it's not
Um,
fair if they played against the guys. And
No, you're wrong.
they're
You're
already
wrong. They're tremendous athletes. They are. They would kill you in a game of basketball. A bench warmer in the WNBA would kill you, dude. She's a professional athlete. First of all, she'd run you ragged. Have you any idea what the conditioning level of any professional athlete is? All right. So they deserve an opportunity to play basketball if they want to play basketball. But I don't deserve to be guilted because I watch it and go, yeah, I'd rather watch NBA basketball. I would rather watch exciting, fast-paced NBA basketball than the little bit that I've seen of WNBA. And they really did try to force us, and they try and make us feel bad for saying the kind of stuff that we do. I want to draw your attention to Leslie's thing here. 120 seconds into dropping into the show, and the woman hating James shows up. How is this woman hating? See, this is the problem. This is not woman hating. Now, it happens to concern the WNBA, which is filled with women, but he's not hating on women. He's hating on the product of basketball that they present. He's not hating on women. Outrage culture, man. It's something. It's something else.
Well, it's a lot easier for her to take my argument to some extreme part of the spectrum so she can dismiss it and not actually have to think about it and do,
Mhm.
the mental work it takes to understand my position. She doesn't want to understand it because, I might be right. And that's an uncomfortable place for Leslie because she's not just, trying to digest what I'm saying. I'm basically asking her to flip over her worldview, and that's a big ask, and I understand, Leslie. But
Um, but a lot of times I think you're full of shit. Like a lot of times I think you're just saying things in order to tweak people. But I happen to agree with you on this. I mean, the WNBA, it was scandalous the way that they were forced into the portfolios of NBA owners. There shouldn't be a WNBA. I mean, look, you want to know the truth? The Chicago Sky do really well. The Chicago that is one example. It's also the one I'm only familiar with because they won a championship a couple of years ago and they're really good. Like they're always contending. And there truly is some buzz for the Chicago Sky in Chicago, but I got to be honest, it feels like it's forced buzz. Like it feels like the people in sports radio, like they don't talk about it in sports radio. It's not like a primetime subject, and it's only like the wokest. And I hate using that word. I said today about how I hate using that word because I consider myself woke. I just don't
it's
like the
political because it has politics attached to it,
right.
and that
But
sucks.
it's only those sports hosts that even mention it and act like, "Hey, did you see that Sky game last night? Man, that was awesome. All right, let's talk about the Bulls for the next 3 hours." That's
It's
it.
3
That's
months.
how they cover it.
Yeah, it
They
feels like when McDonald's runs that Kwanzaa commercial and you're like, is anybody really? No one's doing that. No one's that's manufactured holiday you got there. Like no
what
one's
is?
Kwanzaa. No, like no one's celebrating that. And McDonald's runs a commercial like, hey, it's that time of year. No, no one does that. No one's
Yeah,
watching WNBA. No one celebrates Kwanzaa. No,
nobody.
no one goes out and goes hiking in the woods like all these other PSAs want us to do.
Yeah, what does Leslie? I understand. I look. I love Leslie. Leslie's a very smart woman. She's a very passionate woman, and she's very. It's kind of what attracts me to her is that she's not going to take any shit from anybody. Um, but Leslie, how many WNBA games have you been to? How many season ticket packages have you paid for? How many games on TV have you watched? Come on. No, don't make me, a male sports fan, have to dumb down my viewing so that I can watch a lesser basketball. It is a lesser form of basketball. It's a different style of basketball, not lesser. It is a different style of basketball that simply does not appeal to me.
Well, she just it scroll off the screen, but she brought up the point that I compared the WNBA to wheelchair guys. And the point is through no fault of their own, they have physical reasons why they can't compete against the NBA, because it's not the MNBA. This is just the best basketball players who all happen to be dudes. And so in order for them to have their own league, you segregate them out from the open playing field that is the NBA, and you give them their own avenue. And you can't argue against that. There are parallels. It's not the same thing. I'm not saying being a woman is a handicap.
Well, you've suggested in the past, but no, not in this moment. No, you're not saying it here.
When it comes to being in the NBA, maybe it is.
Yeah. Look, I am a great believer in women being able to do absolutely anything that a man can do. Women's brains are smarter, as smart, whatever. The smartest person in the world might be a woman. That's a possibility. Women can fly planes. Women can do surgery. I'm not one of these guys, right? I was raised by a single mom who could do absolutely everything, right? But no woman is ever going to be the fastest person in the world. They're never going to win a 40-time war against the fastest guy in the world. And they're never going to be the champion of powerlifting. There are just simple things, and they're all physical, and they all have to do with the differences in the human bodies that men will always be better at. And basketball is one of them. Basketball is just one of them. I'm sorry. Did you ever watch that lingerie football league? You ever watch that?
I watched about half of one game.
Wasn't about sports. No, that was about TNA. That was about, yeah. So, and they actually tried to make that league a thing. That league was plopped down. And it's like, yeah, we're pro women. Hey, put a nightie on, girls. It's like, what are you doing?
That's like worse than my worst idea.
Yeah, it is. And yet, someone put a lot of money behind it, and it was a thing for a time.
Right. We can't get a show, but they can put lingerie football on. Look, and Leslie says James always puts down women, always, even when he's trying to be nice. No, you're hearing what you want to hear. You're filtering out when I'm saying nice things about women. I've gone on rants multiple times about how there's something screwed up about guys that just isn't present in women, like with the toilet cams and whatnot. I mean, I punch guys constantly. So you're wanting to hear what you want to hear. And look, I've even said in the sports world, I would rather watch a woman's fast pitch softball game than a Major League Baseball game. I find that more entertaining. I find that there's more action, there's more play, there's more actual catching and throwing and fielding and base running and stealing and all this other stuff that I like in baseball. But Major League Baseball has turned into a lot of strikeouts and home runs and not as much in the middle as they have in the girls. And look, WNBA, take a page from the softball girls. Do it a little bit different, because the softball field, they have moved that wall in, not 20 feet, like 100 feet. These are 200-foot walls they're swinging at.
Well, again, that comes down to the physical makeup of the female form versus the male form. That's why it's moved in. Men are bigger and stronger. Their bone density is more. Their muscles develop larger. They're more powerful. These are not shots at women. Now, I will say this, and have I ever told you in my sports that I think women are more interesting to watch and better at? Tennis. Much prefer female tennis to men's tennis. Women's tennis is faster. Men's tennis is more powerful, but women's tennis is a much more faster game. Figure skating. I don't give a shit about male figure skating, but I will watch female figure skaters. Gymnastics. I don't give a shit about male gymnastics. Female gymnastics is the shit. But after those three, I don't really know, what other sports I think that women are more fun to watch. Leslie says, I agree that if you want Michael Jordan basketball, guys own that. Well, who, who wouldn't want the top of, whatever it is? That's like saying, take back this really good steak and just bring me back a hamburger. Who would choose? Like, you see what I'm saying? I mean, like, if
Well,
you
look,
want Michael Jordan basketball, well, we're talking about basketball. Don't we want to see the apex of the sport?
this is just an intellectual shortcut where if you say anything negative about anything female in any situation, they just turn off their brain and you're a bad person. You hate women. No, I don't hate women. Damn it. I'm married to a woman that I adore, and I have 2 daughters, and I would like for them to grow up in a fair world and be not raped and discriminated against their whole life. Come on. No. Maybe is it not possible? Is it not possible that the genders don't have the exact same amount of muscle strength and bone density? I mean, is that really that crazy and bigoted of an idea? And if they do, if it is possible that a guy can go dig up a skull that was in the Yucatan Peninsula from 13,000 years ago and say that's a 15-year-old girl, maybe there's more than just a social construct that has the genders divided in every civilization from time immemorial. And
Look
it's
at this. Look. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
and just announcing these things, observing them, and talking about them does not make me a bad person. And you're going to have to come up with something a little more deeper and nuanced if you have a problem with it. If it makes you
No.
uncomfortable, good.
No, it's your lack of consideration, compassion, and empathy in doing so that make you a bad person, not the actual take. It's the way you present the take that
Yeah.
makes you a bad person.
Right.
Look at what Leslie just said. Well, what is this? This is so accusatory and absolutely absurd. Pugs just named 3 female sports where they wear almost nothing at all. You think I'm sexualizing tennis or gymnasts or come on. I'm not even close to being a pervy guy. Come on. That's absurd. That seems
Well,
like
no one's like, hey, I'm going to go do this athletic event. Let me go put on some Jinkos and a parka. Right? Of course they're scantily dressed. Dudes are scantily dressed,
right. What male football players, right? I've heard women go, "Oh, I love their pants," because you can see everything in those football pants. What?
Yeah, I don't run around in
I didn't mean anything
leggings.
sexual about it. I just prefer women's tennis. Gymnastics. I don't care about male gymnastics, but if it's the Olympics and I'm going to watch a gold medal, gymnastics routine, it's probably going to be a woman. Same with figure skating. They're just better at it.
You think that women's sports that you aren't interested in is what makes you jerk. Okay. If it's sexy, it plays. That is your strength, Leslie. The women are the beautiful ones. Men are ugly. Women are beautiful. Oh, see, I said something nice about women and something bad about men. See, in the inherent traits that we all just have walked into, we didn't get to choose it. Do you expect the genders to have the exact same amount of attractiveness? Of course not. One's going to be more attractive than the others. So the women win that. Does that make me anti-man? Am I a man hater now?
You think that was something nice that you just said about women? That was
Women are more
something
attractive than men?
yeah, that was incredibly patronizing. That
Oh,
wasn't
yeah, that's right.
nice. Do you
Men are
have no
ugly.
governor? No, but you saying that in that way, as if, yeah, like as a heterosexual man, that's extraordinarily patronizing. It wasn't a compliment. I can see why a woman would be taken aback by that particular statement. Well, say something nice about them. They're hot. Come on, man. That's what that sounded like.
Okay, well, look, reduce
Can't
me.
help
Then.
yourself.
Don't hear my argument. Don't hear it. And Leslie, why are you so angry, James? Because I'm being falsely accused of a pretty horrible thing, and it happens a lot, and I'm tired of it. It's like when people call me racist. Like you can't just say that. You have to actually think about what I'm saying because I'm not racist. And so there's something you're missing here. If that's the conclusion you're coming to that I'm anti-woman, then you're missing the point. And I, as a professional communicator who's been doing this for 20 years, it really does bother me because I think I'm doing something wrong if I'm explaining in a way that you don't
No.
get.
No, you're not. It's just the way the people who you typically broadcast to are not of Leslie's mind. You are broadcasting to a type of person, demographic that doesn't care when you say these things. But there are other people in the world who do. So you come here and we've got a little bit of a mix going on here. You are. I would say this about James: people who do not know him, who only know him from this stuff, you fail to understand that James is a born provocateur. That's what he is. He is not. He is not at all. You hang out with James and you'll see. I mean, eh, he's I've always known his all of his friends have been just like a wide his friends are far more diverse than I have. I mean, I don't have any black friends. James probably has a dozen, you know. I mean, I don't have any gay friends that but again, as I say, I don't have any friends. I got like 3 or 4 friends at this point, you know. So maybe if I widen my net, I'm not against having any black friends or any gay friends, but I just at the moment I don't really have any. You know, I don't really know many. I got 4 friends at this point. I consider all of you friends, and guess what? You're all white. So why don't you turn black and then I'll be more diverse. But no, you would be surprised at the way James actually carries himself in the real world. He's a natural born provocateur.
So I'm at the work site today. I was doing a little construction project for my brother-in-law, and I made the mistake. I was on a job site,
Oh yeah,
and
you're digging a hole, right? Aren't you digging a hole with your brother-in-law? Isn't that what you guys are doing?
no, we're not digging a hole today. So I was in there, and it was so weird because I've got so used to, I do this a couple times a week, really. I go to a job site where, different construction crews are working. They don't all know each other, but there's like the dudes that are doing bricks and there's the guys that are doing the roof stuff. But they all love this fantastic Mexican music with the accordion and the tuba, and I freaking love that stuff now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's so happy. Like, how can you be in a bad mood listening to this all day? And by the time I get off work, it's like I boom, 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 boom.
Is that the stuff that's called Tejano? Is that Tejano music?
No. What is that called? I don't know, man.
Mexican polka music? Because I have to tell you, where I come from, it's heavily Eastern European. So you hear a lot of that music.
Yeah,
but it's
like polka, Bavarian, Czech.
Polka, yeah. And then I come down here and I'm hearing polka music, but it's being played by Mexicans. It was very confusing to me. I didn't.
Oh, they're so good with it, and then they're so good with a tuba and an accordion. But anyway, I had sort of this big disappointment because I went to the job I was working on today. There's a bunch of white dudes, and they don't have any music out there. And if they did, it'd probably be freaking Foreigner or something I'm sick of hearing. They're all like speaking English. And so not only can I understand them, I can understand every word they're saying. And it was miserable because they're all talking.
Is this what you're talking about? This is a bit more poppy.
Most of their bands are like Del Norte, like Los Tigres del Norte or Huracanes del Norte or Panteros del Norte. A bunch of Del Nortes. Type in like Hurricanes del Norte.
Hurricanes del Norte. Oh, really? You asked them what jam this is?
No, I can understand like when the DJ's talking.
Oh, Hurricanes.
Del.
Hey, by the way, anyone in the chat room know the artist? Know that song that I was just playing? Can you tell me? Can you tell me who that song was or what that song was that I was just playing?
Yeah, cumbia is when they do the guitar walk-ups. So like what Pugs was just playing, I think is cumbias.
Bueno.
Yeah, go to the song.
I'm thinking this. I'm listening to it. This is very Breaking Bad. Oh, this is awesome. Is this it?
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, hold on. Joe in the chat room got it right. That was Selena. I played Selena song. I didn't know. I've never heard a Selena song in my life, and everybody made me feel bad about not knowing who Selena was. So I wanted to see who she was. Did you know who she was? When Selena died, did you know who she was?
No, I didn't know till after she died.
And then the whole world was like, "How can you not know who she is? She's massive." And I'm like, "What? I've never
Tell
heard
her
of her in
something
my
that
life."
if I haven't heard of her, then she's not massive. She may
No.
be big within a certain subgenre, but massive, no.
They made me feel bad. Like, I didn't know, like, I wasn't, 'cause I was in my 20s, I considered myself, pretty keyed into popular culture, and then she died, and she's on the cover of People magazine, Rolling Stone, Newsweek, Time, and I'm like, "Who the hell just died? Tina Turner? I mean, who is this person? Is this
They're like,
Aretha
"The one
Franklin?"
Mexican we've heard of died," and she's from Texas. Well, close enough. She sang in Mexican.
I didn't know she
Anyway,
was. I
so
was like, just because she's big in the Corpus Christi metro area, apparently people in Boston were supposed to be familiar with her. Go ahead, continue, James.
all right, so I get to this work site and it's a bunch of white guys. And like when Mexicans are talking and chitty chatting the whole time, on the other side of the work site, I can tune them out because my Spanish is so bad. I really have to like listen and concentrate and hear every word. I'm going to understand what you're saying. So I can just tune those dudes out. These, for some reason, I can't tune them out. They're bitching about their girlfriend, or they're bitching about their kids, or they're bitching about their divorce. And it got really annoying. And I was wishing the Mexicans were up on the roof instead of these stupid Americans, right?
Because they don't chatter about such nonsense. They keep their mouth shut and they
Americans
work
are
their
annoying.
asses off.
Yeah, because their language bothers me, their shitty taste in music bothers me, and now all of a sudden I sound like if I was saying this about Mexicans, I would be a Klansman, right? But I could say this about other Americans, right? If I went to a work site, I'm like these dark people with their horrible music and their chattery chitter language driving me nuts all day. That sound incredibly racist. But I go up there and I'll be like, oh, goddamn white guys, right? And no one bats an eye. No big deal. But it gets worse.
You're forced to listen to them bitch and moan to the soundtrack of Molly Hatchet, April Wine, and bad Aerosmith all day long. Just bad 70s classic rock that even classic rock stations don't play anymore. Go ahead, continue your story.
All right. So one dude was coming down for lunch and he was asking me about some of the PVC pipes that were in the because the house had only been framed, and so you can still see all the guts. And he was asking me like, "What does this go to?" And I just want to be like, "Dude, I don't know any of this shit, right? Because I don't. I know wood, metal, concrete. I don't know." So I was like, honestly, I'm not sure. I hadn't even paid attention to it. He's like, "Oh, this is one of those vacuum houses where you just plug in a hose to the wall." And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, yeah, it is kind of fat. And I guess that is what a vacuum hose setup would look like. I'm just kind of figuring it out. And then this a-hole sat there and talked to me for 15 minutes about his divorce. And
How dare he?
I'm sitting there like trying to work. And like I had to take my headphones off to listen to this guy. And I stop what I'm doing. I'm looking at him. And he keeps talking. I'm like, So then I kind of turn and start to screw some stuff in, like, are you still talking? Are you still there? Who are these people?
Aren't wearing headphones the universal sign of leave me alone?
I wish.
No, they are. I mean, that's why I had, when I remember being on the L in Chicago, going to work, I never wanted to talk to anybody. And I had a Walkman. This is back, it was a Discman. It's back in the Discman days.
For public transportation, that is the rule.
But the batteries were dead. And I would still just wear the headphones because I didn't want anybody talking to me. Now you can pretend you're on the phone if you have that earpiece thing, right? You can just every once in a while go, go on. And then people will think you're busy.
Yeah, I've worn the headphones so people don't talk to me. Because the one I hate is clothes shopping because I'm bad at it and I don't want to have a conversation about this crap anyway. So whether it's Gap or whatever you walk into, they'll just leave you alone. They go, hey, anything I can help you with? And you have to say, no, thanks, I'm just browsing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the shoe carnival. Anything I can help you with? Shoes? What do you think? Anyway, they're just being nice. They're just doing their job. But yeah, I'm with you on the headphones. But if for you people who don't understand why you shouldn't sit there and talk to some random dude about your divorce for 15 minutes, I don't know how I can explain it to you without sounding like a butthead. And, Leslie already hates me, so I might as well just keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. You're in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
By the way, hold on. Can I just take a time out? This music that we're listening to, Does it sound familiar? Did you hear this song on your? Is this the kind of music? But this is like what you'd hear, right? Because I just randomly hit another song. This is basically what you hear on a Mexican job site, right? Okay. Well, that was Eddie Blazonczak. That was Polish polka music. It sounds exactly like the Mexican. Here's more of it. This is the king of polka, Eddie Blazonczak. I used to deliver pizzas to him at his mansion, where you'd walk into the hallway and he had like just strewn with gold medals and Grammy awards, and he'd come in a bathrobe and he'd be like, "My pizza's here! I'm so excited! Hey, Mr. Blazonczak." He was awesome. He's like the Elvis Presley of polka. Every year for like 30 years, he won the Grammy for Best Polka Album.
Well, when they talk about how like pop culture's so negative, like I hate my dad, or I want to commit suicide, or I'm the Prince of Darkness, or whatever. Like, where's the uplifting positive news? Where's the uplifting positive artists? Well, here they are. Here they are. It's the tuba guy on the Tigres del Norte, and it's our polka friends. Dude, this is some uplifting stuff. And look, if you're annoyed by it now, listen to it for 8 hours and tell me if you're not in a better mood.
Oh, it's absolutely stuff that puts you in a good mood. You go to like a Polish bar, like in a Polish neighborhood, and they're just playing this, and you're drinking with like a bunch of Polish people. I mean, they mix in regular music, but every once in a while they'll drop in a polka tune, and the place goes nuts, just because they've been listening to Coldplay and John Mayer, and then suddenly you drop this in, and the place goes nuts. It is. It's very fun music. It's optimistic. It's joyful. This song, by the way, is called Polish and Proud of It. Shall we listen to the lyrics for a moment?
We had cows and ducks and chickens too. My mom would sing, my dad would play the old Costado Kreisky way, and I grew up to sing this song for you. I'm first generation American born, Polish and proud of it. My folks were born and raised in the old country. They worked real hard and did things right and believed in the Lord above. And it's made a better person out of me.
All right, now you can all say you've been to Wisconsin, because that is Wisconsin right there. That is. You cross the border and that's all your radio suddenly picks up.
I think I've only met one Polish person, or knowingly met one person of Polish descent in my entire life.
Well, do you know your rich man, poor man thing that you have, that where rich men and poor men have things in common? James, I think that we have just stumbled across the Polish immigrant and the Mexican immigrant, the things that they have in common. Tubas in their music. That's one. Nobody else has tubas in their music except for Polish people and Mexican people.
Well, also, you got to widen that umbrella to like maybe
German.
Eastern European.
Yeah.
German, the Czechs do a lot of that crap.
But I mean, let's be honest. Yes, Czech as well. Yeah, but the Czechs are just Polish, man. I'm sorry. You tell a Czechoslovakian that they're just Polish, they'll get mad. But let's really look at the history of that landmass, okay?
They're all
the same thing.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, but the entire genre of music is called polka. It's music from Poland. That's what polka means. That's what the whole thing is. But the other thing that Mexican immigrants and Polish immigrants have in common is, when I moved down here, I was actually shocked. And this is going to sound very strange to you, especially people who have lived in this part of the country their whole life. I was shocked to learn that all the maids were Mexican. All the good maids are all Polish maids, Polish immigrants in cities like Chicago, New York, Boston, Philadelphia. If you want to get literally, that's a saying. People like, get yourself a good Polish maid. Everybody's maid. Look, the Sopranos had an Eastern European maid, and all of the people that they weren't maids. But down here in this part of the country, those jobs are all taken by Mexican immigrants, and it's because they work hard and they don't cause problems, and that's very similar to the Polish immigrant. It's why they excelled at these jobs and were able to now I think the Polish immigrant might have a few years of social mainstreaming on the Mexicans. Like, the Polish have been coming over here since the 1920s, and they were marginalized, seriously, but they've at least had more generations of owning homes and building neighborhoods and businesses and all of that. So, it's a good indicator for the Mexican immigrant, because although the Mexican immigrant is completely established in this part of the country, they're really not in the North yet. I mean, it's not the way, like in Dallas, you could have like Hernandez Toyota with like 5 locations, and like, Pablo Hernandez is like the king of this car. That's not a thing you'd ever see up north. You wouldn't like the Mexican culture or the person hasn't achieved to that level yet. Where they're, I mean, it's beginning. Don't get me wrong, it is beginning.
It's super strange because
I mean, that's why I love it. I love it down here for that reason.
Because Spanish names originated from Spain. They're European, but somehow it doesn't really fit in the same genre of your immigrants, because even though they have Spanish last names, they don't the European phenotypes. So while Polish people are indistinguishable by looking at them, they still have another little barrier to mainstreaming that the Poles don't have.
That is not true. I know that you think because you haven't seen many Polish people, but Polish people definitely have a look. There is an Eastern European look, and there is a Polish women are beautiful, but they definitely have a look.
They have a look. Like, you can tell a Polish woman by looking at her.
Yeah, at 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. But you have to realize the largest population of Polish immigrants there's more Polish people in Chicago than in Warsaw at one point. I don't know if that's still the case, but I remember as a kid growing up in the 70s. Yes, dude. Why do you think the Polish Pope came to Chicago and spoke to 5 million people in Grant Park? It's the largest gathering in the history of Chicago. We've won Bulls championships. We've won Bears. We've had millions of people. It was the Polish Pope when he came to Chicago that packed that place like nobody ever has. I know it sounds strange, but it's just simply because you don't have huge populations of Polish immigrants here.
Which Pope was Polish? Which one was
John Paul II? Yeah, okay. JP2, the popular one, the one that everybody loved.
Yeah. Also down here, we don't keep up with popes.
No, you don't. No, you don't. John. Interestingly enough, John Paul II was a part of a very, very, for the first time in, I believe, like 2000, 1500, it's some crazy amount of time. I don't know, however long the Catholic Church. Pope John Paul was the third in the year of 3 popes. There's only been one time in the history of papaldom where there were 3 popes. Yeah, 3 popes in 1 year. You had Pope Paul, and he died, and then they elected Pope John Paul I, and then he died 30 days later, and then they had to elect John Paul II. So it was the year of 3 popes. And he also, for the first time since like, I don't know, 12 or whenever this was, for the first time in seriously a long time, the Pope wasn't Italian. Do you know the Pope was Italian for like 1,500 years? It was always an Italian guy. And then JP2 came in and he was Polish, and that made the American Polish Catholic population go nuts. It was like, this is our guy. So yeah, anyway, I've got a lot of experience with Polish people. Half my friends have Polish grandmas.
The current guy's Argentinian?
Frank is from Argentina. Yeah.
What about the last dude? Where was he from?
Germany, Ratzenberger, or Pope Benedict, but he was Cardinal Ratzenberger. Look at me knowing all my Catholics. See, can you tell I was raised Catholic? This stuff, you just know it. It's just stuff you feel you have to know. The other thing, Mexican immigrants and Polish people offer that, again, this is something that you may not know. Food. Polish food is.
Was that a Polish restaurant? I know pierogies.
Yeah, pierogies, ducks, special ducks, like ducks with sauces, beef.
Ate a lot of ducks.
A lot of ducks, a lot of goose, a lot of beefs, a lot of hams, a lot of potato dumplings, a lot of pierogies, a lot of stuffed pierogies. Oh my God, seriously, Polish food is unbelievable. And honestly, I mean, there's no good Polish food in Texas. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a snob. It's just because you're admitting there are no Polish communities here that would start a really banging restaurant where you can get like duck on a stick. That's one thing that I love. They skewer a duck breast, and then they cook it in a certain way, and you just walk around. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Polish and Mexican. Tubas in their music, incredibly hardworking and likely to start out as house cleaners, doing really good work,
Just say maid.
trustworthy work. What's that?
Just say maids.
Maids, yeah, house cleaners, lawn care guys, like, you know, the
Do this
lawns
accordion.
up, snow removal. It's the Polish man has the market cornered on snow removal in the north. The way the Hispanic man has the landscaping business cornered here, the Polish man up there has, and food. Those are three things just off the top that the Polish immigrant and the Mexican immigrant have in common.
I've never rendered the services of a snow removal company in my entire life.
No, but you've seen it depicted on The Simpsons when Homer became the Plow King, right? That's the depth of your familiarity with the business of snow plowing.
Homer became Mr. Plow, and so Barney saw him making all the money, and he became.
Sorry, go ahead.
Barney
that's right.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else? We're running out of time here, and we just had a natural, free-flowing conversation for 53 minutes. I've got something I wanted to offer, and you know what I wanted to do today? Can we do it tomorrow? Dude, I just want to do an hour of the 90s trivia game.
Yeah.
Let's just play 90s trivia tomorrow. Let's see how I can do. And do you have a category that you like? Because you can have those cards on your side. I can come up with some trivia questions for you, and we can go back and forth. So is there 90s is good for me. Like 80s would be much better for me. I'm guessing 90s would probably be best for you, right? 80s trivia I would crush at.
I don't know. I was drunk for about 10 years. And other than that, I would crush every other year. Yeah.
All right, here. I want to talk about this really quickly here. So James Corden is trending right now. Are you familiar with James Corden?
I'm familiar with Carpool Karaoke, and I actually tried to watch his show several times and was amazed at how awful he is.
Oh God, he is. There is nothing there, man. I don't get it. I don't understand his appeal. There is nothing there.
How is this guy hosting a show and I got to swing a hammer all day?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. He is because he's wildly inoffensive, and that's
not me. Not me.
That's not you, and that's not me. But that's kind of what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody who can be, who can originate a show from New York, who will be fine for people in Utah. That's basically James Corden.
Fatty fall down, fatty safe.
And he's nice and he's sweet, and that's his whole thing, right?
Non-threatening, yeah, got it.
Exactly, non-threatening, a little bit feminine, I would say. He's not exactly a masculine guy. Testosterone doesn't.
He's a sissy.
You call him a sissy. So you are okay. It was all right. I wouldn't use that phrase, but yes, I would say that he lacks the amount of testosterone that I am used to, getting from a man, a grown man. All right. Turns out, and this is just the latest in what has been a stream of stories about James Corden. James Corden's a prick. James Corden is an absolute a-hole. And, this is very common for people who manufacture this level of kindness and, everybody loves me and, everybody, we're dancing. We saw recently with Ellen. I mean, I knew somebody who worked with Ellen years ago who said that, she is a bitch, that she is really mean. And then she gets on the air and the camera goes on and she's like, yeah, Ellen, let's dance. But no, she don't get to be that successful. And you don't go through the kind of things that Ellen went through without being tough as nails and not giving a shit about the people around you having their feelings hurt. She's hardcore. Ellen is hardcore. I mean, you've seen those stories, right?
Yeah, I hear other stories because she started her school. She went through school in Metairie, Louisiana. So a lot of people in New Orleans, when I was on the radio, they will call in and email and send you comments. And then she finished high school in a little town called Atlanta in East Texas. And my college sweetheart's from Atlanta. So I spent a lot of time there, and everybody has an Ellen story in Atlanta.
Before she was famous. From when she was feeling like an odd duck trying to fit in. That's the experiences these people had.
Well, if she is an a-hole, she wasn't always like that. She's not an inherent a-hole. Something made her an a-hole. And so I go really soft on these stories because I've heard too many nice things about Ellen from people who grew up with her.
I know somebody who worked with her on the old Ellen show, the one that got canceled, and he's not a guy that I would think he's worked with a lot of people, right?
Wait,
And
so you mean the sitcom show and not the talk show? Okay.
Yeah, he was a
We're
writer on the
talking
sitcom.
about late 90s.
He was a writer on the sitcom. You can pull up the credits and you can try and figure out who I'm talking about based on, people I've been friends with publicly over the years. No, he's worked with a crap ton of people. And he said, no, man. And he's never talked shit on anybody, but he's like, no, man, you couldn't deal with her. She was just, so anyway, that's a recent one. James Corden is now another example of that. And this story is trending right now. James Corden is trending because he has been banned from what restaurant is this? Some fancy exclusive restaurant in Soho. In Balthazar is what it's known. Balthazar, a swanky French bistro in Soho.
Isn't that like Babylonian king or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been banned for life because here's what it says. The owner of one of New York City's top restaurants bans abusive bully James Corden for life. Calls him a tiny cretin of a man. And he brought receipts, man. He's got examples of James Corden being a dick, So here's the story. James Corden has been banned by fiery New York restaurateur Keith McNally for being extremely nasty to his staff.
Hang on. Leslie just pointed out something good. Can we change that comment below us?
Yeah.
The Upper Midwest is just large white ladies has been up for like 20 minutes.
I don't see where it originated from. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, Leslie. Not out of context. Oh, I'm sorry that my creativity doesn't mesh with your expectations of context. James Corden has been banned by fiery New York restaurateur Keith McNally for being extremely nasty to his staff. McNally posted 2 separate examples of Corden's behavior at the French Brasserie in New York's Soho, as well as claiming he treated staff badly at his former restaurant, Cafe Luxembourg. So he posted, when there is an incident at his restaurants, he requires his managers to write down an incident report just to document it, just for any future things. He has posted to his Instagram just 2 of what he says are many of the James Corden incident reports. And he's just a dick, man. The way he talks. Look, you can tell, ladies, if you're on a date with a guy, you can tell whether you should stick with this guy by the way he treats the servers, the way he treats the bartenders, the way he treats the valet, the way they say it's the way he treats his mother. No, we all shit on our moms. That's something we all do. We all treat our moms poorly. It's because we think we have this unconditional get out of jail card with them, right? Where we can say things to our mom and we know they'll still love us. Anyway, yeah, so he basically just crapped out. Here's the story. Here's one of them. Balthazar is owned by a celebrity in his own right, Keith McNally, a Brit who the New York Times has called the restaurateur who invented downtown. Wildly successful in the food world, Balthazar, Cafe Luxembourg, Pastis, Minetta Tavern, Morandi, Augustine, Chichi Meaty, Lucky Strike, and the Odeon are just a few of his New York restaurants. Think of the money this guy has. These are all Manhattan restaurants, expensive ones that this dude owns.
Dude, the names of these restaurants, I don't know how I know, but I know I can't afford any of them. The Odeon, I could never eat at a place called the Odeon. I never even heard that word before, but I know I can't afford it.
Oh, well, at Balthazar, they posted a menu because it's absurdly expensive.
Right.
To post the menu.
Asparagus is $28.
The onion soup, cup of onion soup. What do you think that's going to run you?
And
cup of onion soup.
$21.
$22.
God!
$22.
I'm going my expensive restaurant template is this place called Dickie Brennan's in New Orleans. And so that's what a cup of soup is there.
Really? All right. How about a salad? Just a salad. It's it's got some asparagus, some fennel,
reduction sauce,
some avocado, and truffle vinaigrette.
My God. Yeah. A lot of truffle butter, truffle stuff, a lot of reductions in there. Reduction sauce. Is there reduction sauce in that menu over and over?
Oh yeah, but this is just a salad. What's just a base? It's just they just fancily described a lettuce with asparagus and some tomato salad. So what is that? What do you think that's going to run you?
Man, probably similar to the cup of soup. $25.
$24. $24 for that salad. There you go. Oysters, Island Creek oysters. I don't know how many you get. Probably one. They're $35 for a half dozen.
Oh, half dozen. What a rip.
35. Okay. So what did James Corden do? It says here, Balthazar is owned by a celebrity. Oh, we already got to that. Okay. All right, here, let me pull this up. So here's the incident report. James Corden was, are you ready for this? Batten down the hatches. He was there with his wife. Dude, I'm not shocked that James Corden is an a-hole. I'm shocked that he's married to a woman. I had no idea. Did you think he was gay?
Well, I mean,
I thought he was out of the closet gay. I thought he was openly gay. I thought...
You know how we play the game, rich man, poor man, Polish, Mexican. We could also do gay or European. That's a thing.
Yeah.
And
that was a category on the old remote control game show from MTV.
Is that where that came from? And I knew that was...
Imagine trying to do that in 2022 on a game show on MTV.
Oh, yeah. Well,
gay or European. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Leslie, everyone thought he was. I thought he was gay. I thought he came out. In June, James was here at table 61. Blah, blah, blah. After eating his main course, Corden showed what appeared to be a hair to Balthazar manager G, who was very apologetic. Corden, however, was extremely nasty and said, "Get us another round of drinks this second, boy, and also take care of all of our drinks so far. This way, I won't write a nasty review in Yelp." This is how he's talking to the server at the restaurant. "Get us another round of drinks now, boy, and you'll be basically demanding all of the drinks so far." It goes on to say some other stuff. Here's another one. Manager report 2. These are just 2 examples. James Corden was at Balthazar with his wife. Again, shocked. Come on. James Corden was
same at restaurant, different occasion.
Yeah, these are 2 just from Balthazar. This is the restaurant he's banned now for life. He can't come in. Imagine being a celebrity of his stature and not being able to go to a restaurant because they think you're a dick.
Well, imagining like you supposedly had such a horrible experience, and then you go back like a week later or a month later. It's like, no, you're just being a dick. Like,
right,
if they really did something that bad, you would never go there again. That's the tough thing about the restaurant business. You could have 30 perfect meals, and meal 31, you screw something up, you'll never see them again.
But it's a see or be seen restaurant, and apparently James likes to be seen there for brunch. And now they've taken away his favorite.
I forget they live in a different role, or even going to dinner. An event for people.
A big deal because you get written about when you have dinner here. Sight seen around town. James Corden dining again at Balthazar, the 5-star ritzy Soho. It's like that kind of thing. Now he can't go. James Corden was at Balthazar with his wife on October the 9th for brunch. He asked for a table outside. Brunch maitre d' Allie Walters took the party to table 301. Mr. Corden's wife ordered an egg yolk omelet with Gruyere cheese and a salad. Eggs and salad?
Hang on a second. Rewind. An egg yolk omelet? You mean to tell me, like, when I was waiting tables, people would ask for an egg white only omelet because that was the healthy choice, but now we've gone...
Yeah.
Like, there's such navel gazers in Soho. They're like, I would like one with egg yolks only.
Aren't I interesting? You thought I would do an egg white. I'm doing egg yolks because I'm fascinated.
No.
I'm in Soho at brunch.
Actually, the comeback is, oh, you still eat egg whites? Oh my God.
There you go. That's what it is. But she's ordering an omelet with a salad.
You see weird stuff like that all the time.
That ain't right. That's weird. An egg yolk. So the wife ordered an egg yolk omelet with Gruyere cheese.
Cheese.
A few minutes after they received their food, James called the server, MK, and told her there was a little bit of egg white mixed in with the yolk.
Unacceptable. Well, you expect me to eat egg white?
I bet he was cool about it. I bet he was like, you know what? That's all right. Not a big deal. I'll just eat it anyway. I mean, it's just a little bit. I understand how difficult that must be. Not a problem. Don't worry. I'm James Corden. Check me out Monday through Friday after Letterman or whatever, or what is after Colbert, whatever he is. But no, he didn't do that, James. That is not the response.
MK is not going to have a good time at the table, huh?
Let's see. MK informed. MK. James called their server MK and told her there was a little bit of egg white mixed in with the egg yolk. MK informed the floor manager G that in the kitchen remade the dish, but unfortunately sent it with home fries instead of a salad. he ain't gonna handle that well. You know I'm trying to watch my carbs. Oh, I bet he threw a little bitch fit. I bet it was just home fries instead of the salad. That's when James Corden began yelling like crazy at the server. You can't do your job. You can't do your job. Maybe I should go into the kitchen and cook the omelet myself. MK was very apologetic and brought over the manager, G. He returned the dish, and after that, everything was fine. He gave them promo champagne glasses to smooth things out. The manager, G, said that Corden was pleasant to him, but nasty to the server. MK was very shaken, but professional that she is, continued and finished her shift. He's a dick. He's a dick. He treats waitstaff like slaves. He's a dick. So, I'm glad I never watched James Corden. I am, however, glad that I read this article today because I had no idea he was straight. Would have bet the kids' college fund tonight if I hadn't seen
over and over. Do you know Piers Morgan is straight?
Yeah,
that accent. It's just a sissy sounding accent.
No. Piers Morgan is straight. I've heard him talk.
I know that's what I'm saying. But I was surprised if you would have told me he was gay, then I would have believed you. I'd be like, yeah, it kind of fits. I mean,
well, I think that the rough and tumble American, with our cowboy ways, we may misconstrue sophistication for being effeminate. I think that's the problem. I don't have the problem with British guys seeming to be gay. Like Hugh Grant, I mean, I guess by a Texan standard, seems like a total gay guy, right? Hugh Grant seems like, but he's not. He's obvious.
No, but they're not all like sissy girls like that. Like, who are these soccer hooligans that are getting drunk and fighting in the streets? Where are those British people? How come they don't get talk shows and acting gigs?
See, again, they do. You are confidently offering hot takes based on your own limit. Jason Statham is English, dude. There are a lot of big, scary English actors out there.
There you go. I don't mistake him for gay.
Guy Ritchie movies are filled with them. Have you ever seen a Guy Ritchie movie?
So why don't they have shows on CNN? Why don't they have a late show? Why don't you have that big dude from Braveheart, the big redhead guy that showed up?
Once again, because they're looking for the most non-offensive, non-threatening personality to put on in the middle of the night, because only old people watch that. Only old people who still watch late night television. I mean, who still watches late night talk shows? People over 50. People who grew up with that being a habit. Watch the news, go to bed, fall asleep to Leno, or fall asleep. Those are the only. Everybody else just watches clips when they come past on their news feeds. We don't watch the damn show. Nobody cares about a monologue. It's an old person's game. And old people in Utah are probably made to feel very comfortable by the presence of a James Corden in his non-threatening ways. All right. I think we're good. Let's go out today with, instead of some Hinckley, let's go out with Eddie Blazonczyk's Polish and Proud of It.
Polish and proud of it. My folks were born and raised in the old country. They worked real hard and did things right and believed in the Lord above. And it's made a better person out of me.
Here. So remember I told you the story so Eddie Blazonczyk. You want to hear something cool? Eddie Blazonczyk. Did he
just do like a woohoo?
Oh yeah. Eddie's a jammer, man. Eddie's gonna party with you. Eddie Blazonczyk, the king of polka, who, people outside of polka circles probably have never heard of before.
Nope.
Dude is filthy rich. He used to order pizzas from us all the time, and we used to fight to take Blazonczyk's pizza because he tipped really well and he was super nice, and he had this big mansion, and he'd come to the door in a white bathrobe every single time, in a white bathrobe, and you'd hear like the wife in the background, is that the pizza? And then you'd say, come on in. He'd let you in, and you'd stand in the foyer and you'd look at all the gold records and all the platinum records and all the Grammys. They were all right there in the foyer. He's showing off that he's somebody. But interestingly enough, you know who his just about 3 houses down? You know who lived 3 houses down? Yeah, no, you're not going to get it. A guy by the name of Doc McGee. Have you ever heard of Doc McGee?
That's not the guy from Back to the Future, is it?
No. Doc McGee made $1 billion off of, Doc McGee discovered, and managed, are you ready? Motley Crue, the Scorpions, Bon Jovi, Warrant, Guns N' Roses. Who else? Doc McGee is the guy who took all the Sunset Strip bands and made a fortune off of them. He was bad hair metal of the 80s, was all about Doc McGee. Also used to order from us. But Eddie Blazonczyk would come to the door in his white bathrobe, and let me show you a picture of him. Are you picturing what Eddie Blazonczyk must look like? Are you?
One of them guys that's blowing into the whatever it is on the Ricola commercials. Is that what he looks like?
No. Here, this is Eddie Blazonczyk. He's a heavy set, bearded. That dude would come to the door in his slippers and his white robe, tip me $10 no matter what the hell. He may have just ordered a sandwich. That's Eddie Blazonczyk. I love that guy. He is so awesome. And so we're going to go out with some Eddie Blazonczyk. Eddie Blazonczyk and the Versatones. Now, Eddie Blazonczyk and the Versatones are the new band because the original band broke up. I believe it was Eddie Blazonczyk and the... I don't remember what it was, but it was a very big scandal. It was like when the Beatles broke up. And then Eddie came back with his own band, the Versatones.
Have they had a band yet that's called the Polka Dots? Because if not, I'm sure they have. Certainly they have.
One gotta be, right? That's like
maybe there's not.
Ray Sands and the Polka Dots. Yep, they're a polka band. Oh,
hey.
Okay.
Download the Florida Stories podcast. Go check it out wherever you are. You're checking out podcasts. Listen to the commercials, buy the stuff.
Bye.
Oh, hey, is the mansplaining in podcast form on the iHeartRadio app since you guys are on an iHeart radio station?
We're having a problem with the app. Yes, you will be able to find that. But also this week, Friday, being moved to prime time. Mansplaining is on Friday night from 9 to 11.
Basketball start?
So check us out.
Is this the basketball thing or is this the concert?
Yeah. It was either we could be like half hour late because the basketball game's going to end, and we were like, yeah, we'll do that fine. But then they said, no, we want you on Friday instead. We want to hear you on Friday.
Even better.
So, very good. Good opportunity for us. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Join me tomorrow for High Noon. Headlines, topics, all that stuff. We do it every day, Monday through Friday at noon. Excuse me. We'll let you go with the dulcet tones of one Eddie Blazonczyk and the Versatones, Polish and Proud of It.
Polish and proud of it. My folks were born and raised in the old country. They worked real hard and did things right and believed in the Lord above. And it's made a better person out of me. And first generation American born, Polish and proud of it. My folks were born and raised in the old country. They worked real hard and did things right and believed in the Lord above. And it's made a better person out of me.